Hello! We're outside again today because I feel like it. I apologize in advance if you start hearing children. My building is right next to where a daycare is, so this is the time of day when parents come to pick up their children and take them away. I also have myself a lovely David's tea. What did I tell you? It's the time of year where of course they've got their Halloween teas and branding out, so it's so cute. I mean, look at how cute that is. Also, I don't know how well you can hear me with the wind, so sorry if it's windy. Now what I want to talk about today is actually appearance. But before I get into that, I'm going to tell you a story and it will come back around, I promise you. 1 month ago today, actually, was when I was having my second last day in Edinburgh. Dan and I wandered about the downtown and we came across what was actually a vintage shop at the bottom of the Royal Mile. So of course we went in, and me being me, again, of course I go right to what appears to be a section full of cloaks. And I'm right, they are cloaks, but they're actually old vintage cloaks that used to have belonged to nurses' uniforms or something of the sort. I know this because one of the tags said this. I'm not just magically brilliant, although I wish I were. Anyway, so I get all excited because of course the one thing that I found earlier in the trip that I didn't buy was a beautiful long velvet vintage cloak. And I didn't buy it because it wouldn't have been practical. But here in this shop, I come across ones that are made of peacoat material that don't look super crazy, but you can tell it's a cloak. Here I am thinking, perfect. It's cold out today. I am too cold. I need to get something awesome and buy it so that it's worth my money and it keeps me warm. So I come across this cloak and I try it on and I think, heck yes, I want to be a wizard all day, every day. I'm going to buy that thing. Fast forward to today. Today is 1 month on from the time that I found that cloak. It's finally cold enough in Toronto for me to be able to wear it. So what do? I throw on the cloak. It just looks like a normal coat, except down on the bottom, you've got just material. No sleeves, nothing. Now, the fact that I'm wearing a cloak, like a literal cloak, as a fall jacket is weird, arguably. You don't ever see anyone walking down the street wearing a literal cape, robe thing. It's just not a thing that people do. You can't buy them in stores, so of course me wearing this is going to draw attention. And that attention, the thoughts that people might have when they see me, are going to be one of two things. One, you look great. That looks really good. And two, that's really weird. That girl is weird. I would hope that most people would have the first reaction, thinking that yeah, it's different, but it looks good. But unfortunately, many instances, a lot of people take the second opinion. It's nothing to do with you, it's just that they, for some reason, don't like looking at or being around things that are different. That's just a way of life. We live through dealing with other people who don't agree with us in every sense of the word, in every context. Are you getting some subtext here? If I were to be the victim of someone outwardly expressing their dislike of this thing that I'm doing that's different, I could of course have one of two reactions. One, I don't care. And number two, I can let it affect me to the point where I stop doing the thing that I was so brave enough to do in the first place. And here's the thing that I want to pose to you. Yeah, I'm wearing a cloak out. I'm wearing a cloak out in public, unironically, because I like it. It's around Halloween time, but you better believe that I'm going to continue wearing this after Halloween, and I'm going to continue wearing this up until Halloween. It's weird. Not everyone's going to agree with it, and people are going to think that I'm just a poser or something else, a fanatic, I don't know. But the thing is, I can remove myself from those opinions. I can try this on and think, you know what, first and foremost, it's warm, so it's going to keep me warm. Second of all, I like it. And third of all, it reminds me of something that makes me really happy. So I can think about the things that people might say about me, and I can think about the fact that this brings me joy. And what of the two options makes sense for me to do? Continue doing it. If it brings me joy, why would I care what anyone else thinks? It doesn't matter what you do in life. You're gonna do things that are different, that other people don't agree with. And you know what? That's too bad for them. Because if it makes you happy, that is the only thing that matters in the world. It is your life, it is your stuff, it is your opinion. Why should it have any effect on anyone but you? So, small food for thought for you. If you needed to hear this, you're welcome. I know some people struggle with this a lot, but when you get to the point where you don't care what other people think, that is when life really begins. Even coming out in this, although I loved it, I knew that I might get some weird looks. And I might have, but I guess I've really gotten good at tuning people's out. I really don't focus on anything when I'm walking, so I just kind of, in my own head, listen to the Harry Potter soundtrack. It was very fitting, it was wonderful. Anyway, the leaves haven't changed yet, so I'm really disappointed. I couldn't be talking about this in front of a gorgeous red and orange background, but fingers crossed we'll be getting that sometime soon. Like I said, this is only the first day where it's been cold enough to wear a jacket. I hope you're doing well. Of course, I will see you tomorrow. Bye. I don't know which rule. Should have brought out my dead cat, which is a microphone thing, by the way.